Well, we're having some very interesting weather anomalies, and we've been having these interesting anomalies, and we could analyze them through all that we've captured in the last few decades. And we're here today to have a discussion in this world famous live stream. Are these interesting weather anomalies a result of the great solar flash, or are they a result of HAARP, weather manipulation? So there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we're trying to figure out as we make it through this blizzard of an ice storm right now. It's very, very interesting times. But we're gonna be discussing all of the possibilities and what can be done about it. So I'm giving everyone a few minutes to get on if you're watching on the replay. And in this message, we're going to talk about electromagnetic energy from the sun. We're going to talk about HAARP. We're going to talk about past hurricanes and other weather anomalies. We're going to talk about, never forget, 9/11. We're going to talk about a very important storm. I've shared about this storm in the past. We're going to talk about storm chasers. We're going to talk about documentaries. We're going to talk about the research that has been done to try to stop these storms from forming. Very important. And we're gonna put this all together. It's a big mess. It's a big mess outside. I'm gonna have to shovel all this shit. So if you haven't done so already, please smash and obliterate the like button. It helps others find this very important message. And we're going to be talking about the great solar flash, and we're going to be talking about HAARP and what it means and what's going on in the world. Why I'm getting pulverized by a blanket of snow and ice right now. So there's a lot going on, and it's good to see everyone in the chat. And you know, I think we do need a flamethrower, Ben. Yeah, and you know, we're going to be talking about what's really going on in the world, because you know, truth is stranger than fiction. Yes, Light Warriors, truth is stranger than fiction, and we're going to be talking about that today. And it's very interesting what's really happening around the world, and that's why you're all Light Warriors, and you're here to do the research and see what's actually going on in the world. And you know, when we have the ability to go back, a lot of, you know, what's been shared and has been documented, and via the internet, we could all go back and look at this research and see what's been going on. The common people will be able to dive deeper into all of these anomalies. So it's good to see everyone today. And, you know, when we see this extreme weather like we're seeing right now, and we're not a big fan of this extreme weather, not a big fan, Light Warriors. Is this the result of the great solar flash, or is this a result of HAARP weather manipulation? So when we first look at the great solar flash, we're going to be continuously receiving increased electromagnetic energy from the sun. And this energy can cause extreme weather conditions. And, you know, just because we can't see something, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And this goes for both of these, both solar flash and HAARP. We see invisible light. However, visible light is only a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. So this light is coming in. It's coming in from the sun. It could be coming from other sources out as well that are not organic. And it can be manipulating, changing our weather. Very interesting things that I have to share with a lot of us. You know, that term was created as part of satanic mocking. So everything is in the subconscious mind. So when they create that term, I'm reading the chat and people talk about the term conspiracy theorist. It was created in its form of mocking and shaming. So, once you're aware of the tactics, you're able to navigate this time period. Ben, thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. It's my honor to do this. You guys keep me going, right? So we can still keep going even in the middle of a blizzard, and that's what I'm here to do today. And using these everyday life examples that we have, this disaster outside my window, to analyze what's really going on. So what is HAARP? High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. And since we are analyzing and breaking down all of these words that are spells, we have to ask the question, what are you programming? What are you programming? Just like how you program the subconscious mind. What are you programming? So, there has been, many interesting anomalies that we can break down. And since future proves past, we can connect all the dots. That's what we're here to do. We're here to connect all the dots to see a clearer picture. Ronnie, thank you very much. I appreciate you. It's my honor to do this. I really appreciate this, guys. It really helps us keep going. So last year, there was a weather anomaly. A lot of you were familiar with it in Texas. And there was a major ice storm in the middle of Texas where it doesn't belong there. Right now we're getting some crazy weather here in New York, and even down in Florida, it's reaching temperatures that are below average for these areas that are supposed to be so warm. So there are many different anomalies that we can analyze when we dive into the past, including that ice storm of last year. And, when we think about Hurricane Sandy, and those that live in the New York area, you remember Hurricane Sandy, and it was such a perfect storm, right? They called it a superstorm because it was two storms that combined. It was a hurricane and another storm that combined together to create a superstorm. And it was just by luck or synchronicity, because there are no such things as coincidences. A major coincidence, it happened on a full moon. Everything came together on this full moon. And what it created was a storm surge. And for those that are not familiar with the storm surge, it was the size of this storm creating all this pressure, and it's pushing down on the ocean. It's pushing down on the ocean, and it pushed the ocean onto the land. So all the flooding was not from the rain, it was from the actual ocean. This disaster is more powerful than an atomic bomb. So we have to start to realize the power of weather and how much destruction weather can cause. And what if the ability to cause devastating weather fell into the wrong hands? Kerry, thank you very much. I appreciate you. It's my honor to do this. God bless you. Thank you. So Hurricane Sandy created such widespread destruction. And during that time, so many people lost their homes, and the damage was beyond even what an atomic bomb would cause, because it actually affected multiple states. So during that time, and some people have broke down the footage and they see these little rings that appear on the satellite footage. Some of you see the rings that appear on that satellite footage, and you've seen this in other storms like Hurricane Harvey, which was in Dallas, Texas. And this storm, it just kind of sat over the Gulf. And all of a sudden, for 2 days, this storm magically, it's like magic, Light Warriors, it magically just sat in the Gulf of Mexico. And it just kept churning, and it kept pulling up the ocean water and dumping it on the land. pulling up the ocean water and dumping it on the land. And for those that are not familiar with how the hurricane works, it must feed its energy by being over the ocean. So this was strategically placed where it was half, and it just stood there for days. Half was in the ocean and half was on the land. It just stood there. And that was done by rain, and that was flooding. So storm surge, if you're learning about storms, we're learning about storms for our everyday life experience. Sandy, Hurricane Harvey was flooding from rain, and it was, just taking all day long the water from the ocean and dumping it on the land. As we know, these storms, they get fueled by the ocean, all that evaporation from the water. So from this strategic place, Hurricane Harvey continuously picked up this water and just kept dumping it on the land. So we have to ask the question about how this can be possible for certain days, several days. And this just kept going on. A storm that I've shared with you in the past, I've shared this storm with you. And it's a storm we will never forget. How's the sound? I see that there was a glitch in the chat. This is important right now, so make sure that the sound is working. If you haven't done so already, please smash the like button. If you're learning something new, smash the like button. It helps others learn something new today. And today we're going to learn about a hurricane that maybe you never heard of. Many people that have been on the journey with me for the past year and beyond, they know about this hurricane, this very important hurricane that we will never forget. We will never forget a very special hurricane. On 9/11, everyone will never forget September 11th, 2001. That's right. September 11th, 2001 is a day that we will never forget. September 11th, 2001. We will never forget. This is the day. This is very important. This is very important. This is the day a hurricane, Hurricane Erin, write it down, research it, and look it up all day long. On September 11th, 2001 is the day that Hurricane Erin made a right-hand turn. We will never forget this. On that date, September 11, 2001, Hurricane Erin made a right-hand turn, a 90-degree right-hand turn. Some of you might follow, organic hurricane tracks. And when we analyze the track of Hurricane Erin, and I've shared that with those that have been following the journey, we have to ask the question, how does the hurricane make a right-hand turn at a 90-degree angle? These are the things that might not be so popular, but are important as we're rethinking our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We're here to ask the question, how can a hurricane make a 90-degree right-hand turn on September 11th, 2001? You learned something new today, right? We learned something new. September 11th, Hurricane Erin made a right-hand turn. And, it was out in the ocean. It was away from land. So we're not seeing any devastation from this hurricane. Maybe only a few people that are in the chat right now and rewatching this very important message have even heard about Hurricane Erin. We name hurricanes so that we can study the devastation that they cause. Obviously, this storm, it didn't cause any devastation, but it has tremendous value when it comes to scientific evidence. How can a hurricane make a right-hand turn at a 90-degree angle? So, think about that day And, think about what happened in New York. And we have to ask, was there an electromagnetic frequency blast that went off that pushed Hurricane Erin to the side, abruptly changing the direction? When you look at the path, there's no denying it. It's not a natural path. But people don't really remember this hurricane or research it because it didn't affect the land, but it's over the ocean. You could track the path. And there are many things about that day. And immediately when I get off of this live stream, I will be going on our Patreon. I left a Zoom link for anyone that would like to join our Patreon discussion. I have a Zoom link for everyone. I'm very grateful for all the support on Patreon. Storm chasers. Over the course of time, many people know about storm chasers. And these are brave people that get in these trucks and they actually go to storms. That's usually done when they're going to chase tornadoes. And then there are storm chasers that actually fly in planes and they drop scientific instruments into a hurricane. So for tornadoes, if you're not familiar with tornadoes are very fast acting. They're hard to predict. You could have a warning. They could drop at any time. And, people have to be on the ground to get that research done. A hurricane lasts for days. You could see it coming days in advance, so they could fly a plane over it and drop a drop zone into the hurricane. So, I've shared a documentary several times over the course of my journey, and I was teaching about storm chasers. And the documentary followed these storm chasers. And the whole purpose of this documentary was to show how they would take these scientific instruments and they would place them in the fields and try to get the tornado to pick up these instruments so that they could research the tornado. And then there was another part where they would fly a plane over a hurricane and drop things into the hurricane and, research the pressure, the wind speed, how it forms. They learned about things called hot towers in hurricanes. The higher the cloud is, and if the cloud pierces the stratosphere, those are the more powerful storms. So they know that if the cloud goes into the stratosphere, that is going to create a more powerful storm. But the purpose of this was to find a way. The whole purpose of this documentary, we're focused. The purpose was so that they could do this research to find a way to shut these storms down. To shut the storms down and save the people. These storms, they create tremendous amount of devastation and loss for the common everyday life people. And this documentary that I've shared so many times over the course of my earlier journey, the point was to get these scientific instruments in the storm so that they could learn how to shut the storm down. And as you know, their technology is, years and years more advanced than what we actually know. So when we look at HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, remember program, never forget program, Light Warriors, never forget. When they are doing all this research and they have the ability, if you have the ability to manipulate the weather, then why not manipulate it for the good of humanity? I'm here in front of whoever's watching, and those that are watching in other dimensions, they know who they are, right? Some people are tuning in saying, what the heck is this guy talking about? Why aren't they used for the good of humanity? So now more people have to suffer because you didn't use the technology for the good of humanity. And this was shown in a documentary that's more than 10 years old. You have the research, you have the ability. So stop manipulating things for negative effects. Why don't you manipulate it so that you mitigate it? Why not manipulate it to mitigate it and save these people and save lives instead of ruining lives? It's just a question. It's just a question. So, as we shared many times, the great Albert Einstein, it doesn't take a genius, light warriors. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those that watch them without doing anything. So many people are aware there's many things going on in the world. There's many sides right now. And there's a lot of people that maybe have the ability that are just sitting around and just watching. So instead of letting things destroy lives, why don't we take this stuff and start to improve our everyday lives? I heard that somewhere. It's true. So whether it's the solar flash, and we know we have a lot of incoming energy right now, we're having these tremendous weather anomalies in the past few years. We see the ice storm in Texas. We see Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Harvey, and you will never forget September 11th, 2001, Hurricane Erin made a right-hand turn. Never forget it. So these are the tremendous anomalies. When you look at these things, right, and then there's something that sticks out like a sore thumb. There are natural movements in nature. You know, we talk about the Fibonacci spiral. That's what the hurricane looks like. The hurricane has curvy paths, right? They don't have right-hand turn paths. Hurricanes don't have right-hand turn paths. So we have to become aware. If you're learning something new today, please smash and obliterate the like button. It helps others find this message. So think about all the changes that we're seeing. I'm seeing a disaster out my window right now. And over the course of time, since future proves past, we can go back to the past and analyze these things. I'm sure back in 2001, a lot of people weren't really focused on Hurricane Erin. But then over time, as more information, more consciousness, the expansion of human consciousness is occurring, people are starting to dive into the past with the new information. And we can ask the question. So take the time to start to reflect on things from the past. You know, even when I was caught up in Hurricane Sandy, which affect a large portion of the East Coast, we have to remember that these storms are more powerful than bombs. Once again, these storms are more powerful than bombs. And there's a lot of common people that are getting caught up in all this chaos. So remember this on your journey, and, you know, take the time to share this message. If you learned something new today, if you find something interesting here, why don't you share this message so that other people will find this message? And it starts to help us understand what we're going to go through in the future. So there's a lot of unlearning and relearning, and there's a lot of, you know, subconscious programs that are being broken down, and it causes a lot of changes in the body. When something is wrong, and this is what I'm going to be talking about in our Patreon once I get off of this. So if anyone else would like to join our Patreon, I'm very grateful for all the support on Patreon. When something is happening and it's evil, it's the opposite of what should be. What is evil? To live in reverse. Spell it out. What is evil? Live in reverse. And when backwards things, Luciferian things, that's what's backwards. Do the research if it's new to you. Luciferian doesn't just mean some, guy with horns and a red thing and a pitchfork. It's the opposite. So when evil is occurring in the world and you are an empath, your subconscious mind is understanding what's really going on, even though you might not be conscious of it. You're not conscious of it. It's happening in the subconscious mind. So there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of trauma that is built up in the body. And this trauma needs to be released. This trauma needs to be released in the body. And that's what we're going to be talking about on our Patreon today. A lot of people, and it's okay because I'm feeling it as well. You have a lot of trauma that's being released because we live in a fake world. We live in a world with fake food, fake medicine, fake news, fake people, fake subconscious programs, and fake clouds. And some of you have seen this meme of this mother and her daughter, and it's a meme that's going around. I'll share it again in our Telegram group. If you haven't joined our Telegram group for a 24-hour chat to talk to people, this is mental health awareness. The mother and the daughter, and the daughter says to the mom, why is everyone so sad in the world today? And the mother says, because we live in a fake world that destroys our soul. We live in a fake world that destroys our soul. Our soul knows the truth. In the subconscious, we know the truth. What is the energy that operates the body? That's our soul. What is depression? Deep rest. The soul no longer wants to operate the body because we've been living in a fake world. And the soul knows it. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this. You know it in the subconscious mind. So over time, you're seeing things on the TV. You see it. You've seen it in 2001. You're seeing it many times. You're seeing it now. And you're seeing something, but it's an illusion. And your soul knows that something is wrong. And then you have a lot of trauma that's built up inside. You don't know where this trauma comes from. And we're releasing the trauma right now. There's a lot. I'm reading it in the chat. Millions are depressed. That's true. So don't be afraid to say it. I ain't afraid to say it. I'm feeling it along with all of you. And that's my honor to keep going. No matter what, I'll keep going. When you see these things and you know that they're actually attacks on humanity, it starts to wake you up. And we're realizing that mental health awareness is very important because it's going to dictate your life. You could have the same situation. Now the plow's plowing us out. Someone help us. Shut off the snow. Can someone shut off the snow, please? Help us out. Shut the snow off, please. But, maybe God will listen, right? Shut it off. But, there's a lot going on. And our subconscious is downloading, and it's picking up on the vibration. As Dr. Bruce, I'm going to get the shovel soon, Gamma. I'm going to get the shovel soon. Don't worry, I'll be out there freezing. You guys will be nice and warm. I got to shovel everyone out now. When the subconscious mind, it's picking up on what's really going on. And that's why you're unaware of it. You are not conscious of it. And that's why you're building up this trauma that's inside of your body. And we're going to talk about it on Patreon today to release this trauma. And, you know, the normal things that we do. Right now it's hard, but you got to get out of nature. You can't really get out right now. Can't get out there. Stuck in the box. You can't move, right? Can't move anywhere. The whole world's, that's what we're feeling right now. We're feeling all of our freedoms. We're feeling everything getting tighter and tighter. If you're new to our channel, I want you to go back and watch a month ago. And I shared in an energy update. It's going to get tighter and tighter. And that's where we are. And if you go back and watch every single one of my videos, you could follow the journey and you could see where we are today. And now the pressure is on to the point where you feel it all the way up to your heart. That's your core. And now there's literally nowhere else for it to go. So it's trying to press outward. It gives an outward force, an electromagnetic field that's 5,000 times greater than your brain. So you have to listen to your heart. If your heart's saying get out, then get out. If your heart says keep going, then keep going. Not the brain. Because the brain tries to rationalize things. The brain is a tool. The brain is a tool to help navigate this realm. Tesla called this a realm. I keep preaching today, right? So we're picking up a lot of the trauma. We're picking up the trauma from our brothers and sisters that are suffering. We're empathic. We're connected. We're seeing fake things in the world. And just like that meme where the mother and the daughter are together and the daughter says to the mother, why are so many people sad today, mommy? Because we live in a fake world that tries to destroy our soul. So if you're ready to improve your life, please smash the like button and share this message with someone else so they can learn the truth about our reality. What if everything that you were taught was a lie? At least 80% of it. The law of 80-20. I teach the law of 80-20 as well. Law of 80-20. We need to start realizing it's not about fake man-made laws. It's about universal laws. And the universal law of 80-20 exists. So that's what, nothing is ever going to be 100% light warriors. It's never going to be 100%. The law of 80-20 is going to plan out, play its way out. So realize all the changes that we're all going through. Take the time to research Hurricane Erin, September 11th, 2001. Because don't just listen to people. I'm glad that you're listening and you're paying attention, but I'm training you to be a sovereign being. And that's the only way we're getting out of this. That's the only way we're getting to the new earth. So do your own research and question everything, because questioning everything is your birthright. It's true. It's true. Questioning everything is your birthright. So, you know, we have a lot of changes in our sun. Could the sun be affecting the world right now in these weather anomalies? Maybe. Could it be HAARP manipulating the weather? Maybe. Bay Area believer, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Got to be strong, right? I'll be strong later, shoveling everyone out. I'll be shoveling away. I should be on a nice warm beach right now. And, you know, my soul is feeling, the more you release from the satanic matrix, the more your soul is in tune to what's important, and the more that your soul cannot take it anymore. And that's the depression, the deep rest that you're feeling inside of you. So think about it. That was my Papa's bell. I use it for emphasis sometimes. He's around here floating around. He's watched. He's floating around somewhere. So, you know, take the time, and I appreciate all the prayers. Pray that this storm stops sooner than later, because it makes it a lot easier to dig out. And, you know, we still have power. So that's what's most important. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of common people are getting caught up in the mess. A lot of common people are getting caught up in the mess right now. And it's important that, you know, we take the time to realize, be empathic, put yourself in other people's shoes. What's actually going on in the world? And I'm going to be wrapping it up about now. If you'd like to join our Patreon, I'm going to continue this conversation there. Very grateful for all the support on Patreon. Join our Telegram. We have a 24-hour group chat on Telegram, so you have a friend to talk to, because a lot of people are going through this right now. Cindy, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I will keep it up. I will keep going, right? They should change that sticker to keep going. I'll make the Our Everyday Lives sticker. Keep going. Going to keep going. So I'm the best there is at what I do. You don't have to be the most popular. You just need to be the most authentic. And that's what I shared about, you know, even like Hurricane Erin. You know, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me. It might not be popular. You got to do what's right. You got to do what's authentic. And then eventually, the people will come. Because authenticity lasts the test of time. Authenticity lasts the test of time. Don't forget it. Because future proves past. 2 years from now, we're going to look back at these videos, and it's going to be here for everyone to see. Just like how a lot of this stuff is there for you to see. And we're going to go through a lot of this important stuff today in our Zoom meeting. It's going to be phenomenal, Light Warriors. So I appreciate all of you. Please take the time to smash the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, click the bell next to subscribe and select all. And then you will get all of the updates, and even some of our post videos will pop up on your stream. If you're interested in this work, please check out the channel page. You might learn something new. And there's many different playlists on the channel page. I try to organize by different topics. You should check out the Mandela Effect. I'm going to do another Mandela Effect video very soon. We're going to learn about a lot of things through all of these anomalies. There's many anomalies that are saying, hey, we live in a fake world. It's time to wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Light Warriors. It's a fake world. But we're here to burn it to the ground and build a new one. So the link will be, it's already posted on Patreon if you want to join the Zoom meeting. So I love you all. I know it's crazy right now. I know the snow is piling up right now, but don't worry about what's going on out there. You know why. We cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious of these weather anomalies, whether they're the Great Solar Flash or HAARP. But if it's technology, it should be used for the good of humanity, just like that documentary that I shared many times on my journey. Someone out there is watching. I know you are. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. Find us in the 5th dimension. Have a wonderful day living your everyday life. If school children know that technology should be used to stop these storms, then everyone should be aware of it. And I'm going to reflect on Albert Einstein. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those that watch them without doing anything. It doesn't take a genius, Light Warriors. So leave your comments. What do you think is going on? Are we getting solar changes? Do we have HAARP going on out there? What's going on in the world? So take the time. I'll be taking the time later to shovel all the shift. I'm shoveling all the shift, Light Warriors. This is going to be me later. Everyone have a good laugh. So I hope that this message was helpful for all of you. Have a great day. Namaste. And I'll see you guys on Patreon.